What's up guys, it's Drew Momeka with the first video back since taking a quick social media break. A lot of you probably didn't even notice, but I was gone for about 37 days. I didn't go anywhere, I was home. I just mean I wasn't posting or interacting with social media during this time off. And today I want to talk to you guys about why I took that break, what I felt like I learned from that break, and really just how I want to move forward. But before we get into that, I still need to work out today. And I thought it'd be a great chance to get what I need to say across, get some organic material to you guys, and save time while I'm doing it. So it's chest and arms today. We've got about 3 exercises for chest if you don't count this warm up. 2 exercises for triceps, 3 exercises for biceps. Yes, I said 3. I have long arms, a 7'1" wingspan to be exact, and it takes a bit more for me to effectively hit my biceps opposed to my triceps. Now let's get into it. Yo, it might be an unpopular opinion, but Coach Greg got the best pre-workout in the game right now. I'm not even getting paid to say that. This is like, man. Let me tell y'all these specs really fast. This is HTLT pre-workout 2.0. That means it's harder than last time, better than the original version. The caffeine matrix on this is really the best part. I have this video about my bad experience with pre-workout, and at the end of it, I mentioned that if I can find something between what's recommended and a cup of coffee, I'm taking that. But this just so happens to let you get 100 milligrams with 1 scoop, 200 milligrams with 2 scoops, and 300 milligrams with 3 scoops. So you get to choose if you really want to die. But this flavor specifically, dragonberry, it's a combination of a dragon fruit, strawberries, and blueberries. I didn't even know they worked well together. It just mixes with the water so well too. It's like no chalk whatsoever. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that everything you see here is literally on my Amazon storefront. From these parallettes, to this weight, to this bar, to this stand right here. It's all on my Amazon storefront. So if you'd like any of these things for yourself, just hit that Amazon link down below. It'll take you right to my storefront. Please buy these things off my storefront. That's how I get paid. That's how I eat. That's how I pay my rent. That's how these lights are on. Okay. So we're starting off with 2 warm-up sets with 2 push-up variations. The first is just regular flat surface. The second is with my feet elevated. I just want to get some blood flowing in my lower and upper chest before I put some weight on it. You guys have definitely seen me do this one before. I'm just starting from this plank position and retracting my shoulders so that I can get more engagement in my chest. And I'm getting a slight lean forwards, making sure my wrists are stable. And from here, I'm really just dropping with a lean, keeping my shoulders retracted, and then trying to push straight up, but not back, you feel me? Just straight up. And then dropping with that lean each rep. You know, it's funny, every time I show somebody that push-up variation, I always tell them I have no idea why people do regular push-ups. That is so much more effective than a regular push-up. You're hitting your triceps, your shoulders, your chest. You're controlling engagement. The most important thing is that it's actually building your chest. Like, push-ups are so boring. They don't really, that's not really doing much, which is why I like this variation, because just 1 rep of this exercise can be so much more than 10 basic push-ups. I only did 8 reps. Feel like I'm about to die. So this next one, as you probably guessed, is for the upper chest. So like for a regular diamond push-up, right, you'd be like more ahead when you fall down, like your chest would meet your shoulders. That'd be the regular deal. For this one, we're backing up a bit so that our nose is like in line with the bottom of these parallettes. You're just dropping your head straight down to that. Oh, I almost forgot. The important thing is to retract those shoulders first. That's key. And then you just want to push through and really feel that squeeze. Oh my God. Okay. Don't judge me. My upper chest is not lacking. Like, we're good up there. Just because I really do this. I don't do incline bench. I mean, I do close grip bench, so technically that helps a lot. If you were wondering, close grip bench is great for your triceps, but it does build that upper row very well. So the warm-up is complete, and while I'm catching my breath and before I get this first set in on these weights, let's just dive right into the gist of why I decided to take a break from social media. It's funny because I think it was probably like 2 weeks before I actually took the break, I saw this video from Mr. Beast doing this interview. He was talking about how there are so many content creators that put themselves on this pedestal and just demand so much from themselves. They create these invisible standards. In that moment, seeing who we would say is probably the best content creator right now say something like that, it really made me look at myself in the mirror. And I realized I was putting a lot of unnecessary stress on myself, which at the same time was canceling out anything that could really be organic for you guys. Because at the same time, I had a lot of personal issues I was trying to deal with. Like I told you guys in my community posts, and if you're not part of my community posts by now, like I share everything in my community posts. Like I tell you guys pretty much most of the things that are going on in my head. I know I could probably be more frequent about it, but I try to share with you guys in the best way I know how. And I feel like writing to you guys sometimes can be a better way to project a message, because you're able to go through, see individual things that you can relate to. You can go back and see it. Whereas if I say something, sometimes you guys might not even make it long enough to see what I have to say. But a week before, like I said, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you're really creating these standards for yourself and you're not even a clear version of who you are. Like, I was looking in the mirror and it just, I felt so unfamiliar. Like I felt unrecognizable to myself. I didn't really feel like I knew exactly who I was. And that's mainly because since the moment I first dropped out of school, I was really just like thrust into trying to figure out how to make things work. I didn't have a home to go to at the time, so I had to bounce around from friends' houses, just couch to couch. Ended up in my grandmother's trailer park for, you know, the better part of 2 weeks. And I had to make some phone calls. I had to make some apologies. And eventually I was blessed enough to have my dad take me in, and I had a stable roof over my head. And then the pandemic happened. So we're at the start of the pandemic. I just dropped out. I'm at my dad's house now. I have a younger sister in the house as well. All my younger cousins are just around, and it feels like at the time there's so much pressure on me to figure out like what exactly I'm about to do with my life. All I'm thinking at this time is find a job, work, find a job, work, get some money, find a job, work. And I was definitely finding jobs and I was definitely working. None of those jobs seemed to be situations I was comfortable staying with for the long haul. So they usually just didn't work out. So I'm just going around and round in circles, just filling out all these job applications, just hoping that one of these jobs will be the one that I just decide I can just do long enough to just be stable. But it never felt like that. And it put me in the most depressive state, because everywhere I went every day, all I get asked is, do you play basketball? It's not that I don't like basketball, but like, I don't want to play basketball. Like, I did my time. I went Division I. I played 4 years in college. Everybody doesn't go to the NBA. And it really just felt like nothing I was ever doing was enough. And I just got addicted to putting value on my actions. Oh, don't worry guys, this isn't actually 225. The bar is only like 30 or 35 pounds, I think. So I'm in that trap of putting value on everything that I try to do and coming down to the conclusion that because there was no value to what I was doing, I was pretty much worthless. And that led me to leaving the hospitality and the shelter of my dad's home to being out on my own again and still without a job. It's during this time that I'm on my own without a job that one of my aunts passes away from COVID. And at this point, I have like really nothing else to focus on. I'm not even concerned about my own well-being at the time. All I had was an addiction to working out because I felt like at least that provided some value to me. And I knew my aunt, she was a healthy individual. She never smoked. She got me my first part-time job when I dropped out. And that really hit me. It hit me really deep, and I just didn't really want anybody else to feel that. You know, I know people were dying every day from COVID, but I felt like if someone I knew, another person I knew died, that would just hit a little different. So I tried to figure out what are ways to keep people from getting COVID. Really, you know, selfishly, I didn't want to get COVID either. I didn't want to die. So I'm sitting there thinking like, how can I make sure I don't? You know, what advice can I give someone else on? How can they not? And the first thing I see is physical activity. So you're telling me if everybody works out, they probably won't die, at least not from COVID. And I ran with that, and I realized in that moment, everything happens for a reason. And I told myself in that time, that was my purpose. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to make sure that people can get up at some point throughout the day to just get some type of physical activity and just to not be doing nothing. Because then your immune system is just useless. It doesn't protect you from anything. So I figured what was the best way for me to reach the most amount of people. And at the time, that was TikTok. Oh, and we're back at the top, by the way. Usually after bench press, I just go right into that same first bodyweight exercise I was doing that I almost died on. Yeah, I just hit that till failure. Probably about 3 sets. Moving on to biceps, and I don't have any dumbbells, so don't judge how I lift these plates. Yeah, I do it pretty prehistorically. But yeah, I just feel like a whole set of dumbbells will just take up a little too much space in my crib. I already have enough stuff in here. But as I was saying, we started with TikTok. And the only problem with me getting into that was that I was never big into social media. Like, I've never been a fan of social media at all. I'm blessed to have you guys, and thank you so much, but I think you can kind of tell by like my posting frequency and my lack of promo codes that I don't really care very much about how much money I make from social media. To be exact with you, completely transparent up front, with all these numbers I have, I make less than $1,000 a month. And getting into it, I never had any plans of making any money from social media at all. Like I told you, my only goal has and always will be to help people get off their That's it. There's one thing to influence fitness, and there's another thing to influence standing up. That's really all I'm trying to do. And because I went from, you know, just posting some pictures about what basketball game's coming next or a highlight from the last basketball game to not having anything to talk to anybody about, I had already canceled myself from social media. And when I come back out of the blue and I'm like, hey, try some of this. And it's like, well, where have you been? You don't play basketball anymore? I lost so many followers. I lost so many connections. Really, I lost a lot of faith in a lot of people. And it's mainly because I'm 6'8" and pretty athletic, and they didn't understand why I wasn't using that athletic ability to play sports. I can create a whole separate video about why I don't want to play professional sports, but to stay on topic, I had no hobbies, I had no interests outside of doing that, because myself alone, without trying to provide any type of positive influence, felt like a worthless human being. So it's pretty much felt like playing catch up all this time. You know, I've gone around feeling like I just didn't have any substance outside of trying to help people better themselves and providing better content to you guys that actually can at least tell you a little bit more about me, what I like, what I'm interested in. I felt like that was more important than trying to continue growing those numbers. So that's essentially why I took my break. I actually have no idea what this exercise is called. I saw Ryan Humiston do it about a year ago. Supposedly builds bigger brachialis. I've been using it since then. Brachialis is pretty good. It just didn't feel very good going out into the world, trying to build relationships, inspire, influence others when I didn't have a very good relationship with myself. Now, I didn't gain enlightenment or anything crazy from taking some time off, but I did learn a lot from just making observations. And two very important things I learned were that everybody goes through a period of time where they just need to clear their heads and figure things out. It's nothing special at all. We all have some type of crazy experience that has happened in our life. Some of you, it just hasn't happened to you yet, and knock on wood, it's nothing, you know, too terrible, but everybody goes through something. For us to put levels on what we're going through is pretty limited in terms of thinking and application. There are always going to be experiences that shape us, that we grow from. We're all going to make mistakes, and we're all gonna go through hardships. The second most important thing I learned in relation to that is that most of us don't know ourselves, and most of us don't know what we want. If you look at things at a relationship level, on the male side and the female side, you can claim that all guys are the same or all girls are the same. But have you changed your approach to relationships? Have you changed your way of communication? Have you changed your energy? Have you changed your delivery? If you're the same person every time you try to get into a new situation, chances are it's probably just you. But the you that you are is not necessarily the actual you. I feel like society has a lot of influence on how people end up being, especially in their 20s. This is a digital age that we live in, and most of the influence comes from things online, the things that you see, the things that you hear, the things that you read. That's who you are, that's what you believe, that's your substance. And majority of people have built a substance based on the nonsense they see online, which is why so many relationships don't work. Whether it's intimate or something a little bit less personal, something controversial always becomes the determining factor in whether or not the other person is worth your time. It's become less about connection and less about valuing people's existence. It's like because society is built in a way where we have to value the actions of the next man, that's what we see. The three pillars that they like to talk about with alpha male nonsense: status, looks, money. That's what we see. It's not strength, it's not bravery, it's not courage. It's how do those things help you live a comfortable life? The main problem behind that is while people might want that, and while it might seem so hard to grasp, the law of attraction proves that if all your actions are in favor of providing a positive outcome, it's probably guaranteed to happen. Most people just aren't taking the time to look at all those individual steps. People see something that's too long and they say, oh my God, make it simpler. We all want instant gratification. We all want things simple. And because of that, and because we keep putting new things in front of us, we think things don't last, when in reality, it's just our work ethic that doesn't. Moving forward is definitely the same energy, but I do want to get higher quality, higher rate of content out to you guys. This break was really good because it gave me time to be able to go out, have a good time, and just clear my head so I had the energy and the willpower to actually make content for you guys every day. I feel like before I was really just running on fumes. It was very stressful for me to crack a smile for you guys, but now, where I'm at now, I'm really just trying to get out and be able to interact more with people on a broader base. I want to be able to understand where people are coming from, where their heads are at, what creates so much doubt for a lot of people, and what's the biggest factor in detouring consistency. Because similar to addiction, if you're trying to break something, it's that itch in the back of your mind that's like, nah, keep at it. with consistency, you know, you do it long enough, it becomes an addiction. So really just trying to figure out better ways to build those habits within people and then just going out and sharing that with people. I'd really appreciate you guys' feedback and you guys' comments telling me things that you like or you might be interested in, because I don't know the algorithm and I really don't care to know the algorithm. But the better things look, the more people I can reach. And right now I can't reach all 600,000 of you. I do need your help. I need your watch time. I need your likes. I need your comments. Because it's not about growth. It's about reaching the people I have right now. If I grow, great, but I just want to hit all those numbers. It feels so pointless making all these videos every single day and then the views are just garbage. I don't really care about the views. I'm gonna make the content regardless. The content is coming out regardless. But what hits me is knowing that y'all didn't get to see it, or that you won't get to see it. You hit that like button, if you could hit that subscribe button when you see my videos, it really means a lot and it would do a lot for me. I don't have no promo code to push. If there's an ad in the video, that company paid me to make that ad. Y'all don't have to buy the product, but I have to make a living. Like, I have to eat, I have to pay rent. That's my job, making videos. And I already know the better I can connect with you guys, the better all these things will go. But it's a two-way street. Okay, I feel like I have a really bad habit of talking too much without providing explanation. I'll work on that. But I'm on triceps now, so I was just doing close grip bench, and now I'm about to get into a resistance band tricep extension superset with some skull crushers. And that is the workout. Just a squat rack, some plates, a pair of parallettes, and a resistance band, and that's all you need. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll be posting content Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to help you start your fitness journey. Now let's keep working smarter.